Good morning and welcome in, everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, let's just go over a brief overview of what we are encompassing here on this Monday morning as the US wakes up for the trading day to start the week, the ETFs come back online, and we exit a thinly traded market into a more let's just say a more traditional market now that that we're going to be opening up this morning. 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the stock market opens. We always wait until about 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yes, it's a lot earlier on the West Coast, but living on the West Coast, you're used to the trading starting at 6:30 your time. So if you're a trader, you're going to be waking up and start to look at the market. We do have rising wedges that we talked about yesterday. Can we invalidate them? That's something to be watching this morning. A very key one that is breaking down earlier than some is the rising wedge out of DGB. It's come down from the breakdown at 1018, currently sitting at 969, and that would represent a so far 4.4% drop. It was down as much as 5.4%. So that's something we're going to have to make sure that we have reverse, or we're going to come back down to this uptrend somewhere around the 009 level. It's not just on DGB. I can show you another example on XLM. XLM reversed down though after it dumped down this small bit, and we're going to see if DGB follows serve. Now we need to get around here on XLM and avoid this resistance at 25 cents roughly. We got to get past there so that we don't validate a resistance tap and then confirm a drop down to around the 20 cents. That's something that we're dealing with this morning. And it's not guaranteed that these fall down just because it shows a rising wedge. It's like 85% of the time it'll follow through. Still leaves 15 out of 100 times where it doesn't necessarily follow through. Some key signs this morning: Ethereum's up 4.9%. And it's bouncing up just a tiny bit. But it needs to get up and over a couple layers. And let's get rid of some of this, because some of this was just like, oh, we need to get past certain areas. But we definitely need to, in this little motion, we need to get past 1,853. 1,853. This was the little line we connected yesterday. So at least we got above that little part right there. But if we want to maintain a bullish push here, we need to push above these areas. We need to maintain and then ultimately push 1,853. We'll watch Ethereum as the day goes on. Got slightly a busy day today because my son's got school, but then he's got his IEP for his elementary next year, so that's going to take a little bit of time. I still plan on being here for the live tonight at 6 p.m. unless something crazy goes on. But we'll have multiple updates through the day regardless. Please do hit that like button, though, so YouTube does recommend this through the algorithm. I think it's very important. Let me do the intro, and then we'll tap XRP and Bitcoin, and then I'll release this so I can get my son to school. Good morning. 7:54 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, April 14th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So these morning updates always go quick. They're only like 10 to 15 minutes, especially when I have to get my son to school. XRP, we had a few different understandings. One, we could just bounce out and break above 225 now because we consolidated back. We held the 2-hour time frame on the golden cross, and now we can start to bounce out. We'd have to push past 225 and 229, and that could get us all the way up to that 265 and further. If we do consolidate, we drew something like this, and that leads us into Easter Sunday and then the Monday after Easter this upcoming weekend. And it looks like we could put in an extended inverse right shoulder, but that's only if we don't break out right now. See, the caveat here is we have a golden cross in the 2-hour that was not invalidated. In fact, we came down perfectly about 12 hours ago. In the 4-hourly, a big key takeaway here will be if we can get pushed past the 200-day at $2.17 and then ultimately retake 225. That would be our most bullish scenario in the short term. In the longer term, if we came down consolidated on this inverse right shoulder, you could get something like this that forms. We definitely have an extended inverse left shoulder or left arm. We have an inverse head. Now we're trying to invert this right shoulder, right arm. So it's got two choices here. If the market's coming down because of rising wedges, I wouldn't I wouldn't see anything wrong with XRP following the market and coming down to that 194 or $2 level again. But if we can avoid that, XRP technically could bounce out here on the 2-hour if it can retake the 4-hour 200-day, because we're bouncing bullish right now. So there's a very strong case to be made in both directions. But either way, it looks like a bullish setup. It's just a matter of, do we have short-term consolidation or do we just power through? I would like to take a turn and look at Bitcoin very quickly, up 1.4% or $1,174 on this Monday morning. And we're at 84,885. We've had some kind of volatility, though, here. Some kind of volatility. We bounced back perfectly and created that bullish Gartley. We've got a golden cross on the 2-hourly that now we're bouncing on the 20-day, which is good. 4-hourly, we're trying to push our way back up. We bounced through, and we've actually crossed almost in a golden cross fashion. But it looks nice right now to start the day. It does. It looks nice to start the day, and it looks like we're powering up as of right now. It wouldn't be the first time that we looked super bullish to start the morning on a Monday, and then it started coming back down. But right now, we're looking at both sides of it. I've shown you the bullish side. Or even if it's bearish, it still could be very bullish. It's just we might have to create this inverted right arm. But we do have opportunity here this morning. When you look at the Bitcoin dominance, it's down just about 1/4%. And it definitely is hanging right now. So either it's going to drop down here to the 200, or we're going to come up and try to retest 64% real quick. But it already melted up in a sense. So maybe we do start breaking down finally here, because we had this exhaustion wick up and we filled it pretty much the whole way up. Now, if we want some money to go into the alt tokens, we need this to continue dropping. The XRP Bitcoin pairing's up 1/4% to the 2538 sat level. It's been getting hammered here for a few days. We haven't been able to break out of this consolidation. We're below the 200-day, but we're starting to like reverse up here a little bit in the 4-hourly. The 2-hourly has that golden cross we're about to play off of, and if it does, that's a bullish Gartley here. And if this happens, we're about to break up here, and this could be a nice little move back up to the top. Let's see how far this would be if this plays out 100% on the money. It's about a 11% move to the top side. So if we move to the top side, this would be fantastic. I would love to avoid that 10 to 15% drop on a correction. I'd rather go to the upside. Let's face it, we need a little bit of bullish momentum here. And if we get a continuation here, it could be very volatile to the upside, and I'm all for it. All for it. Let's see how it looks in the morning. Gold's down about $13, not unexpected. It was up $222 last week. So a little bit of a consolidation is not unexpected. Silver's not, well, flat. Silver's flat. Mining stocks for gold and silver, pretty flat in the morning. Little up in pre-market, but nothing major. Fortuna's even. First Majestic's up about 1/3 of 1%. 3/4 of 1% on Pan America. B2 Gold is down just over 0.5%. And Barrett's even. So nothing really going on in the mining sector. The US dollar, however, it tried to have a little bit of a push last night, where it got up to 100.37 and it just fell back down. But one could argue that it might be bouncing off of this pivot point here, and maybe now it's going to have to make some kind of weird pushback up, because that's just what they do. In the US, they buy up all the bonds and the debt and things like that. Artificially rises the dollar until it doesn't, and then it just tanks back down. So this is a big critical pivot point. Once it breaks this pivot point, we've got quite the move down for the US dollar if this happens. That move down brings you to like 77. This is the big boy I've been talking about for a long time. So, and it even came all the way back up here in 2023 and exhausted itself. Then it came back to the next zone. It's almost doing this perfectly. We run out of room. So we'll watch this. We'll watch this market continue to unfold here. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you appreciate my work, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the over 33,100 subscribers. Awesome to see us break over 33,000. I encourage you to use BITUNIX. They have the lowest spot and leverage trading fees, lowest maker-taker fee. They're worldwide, including the USA, no KYC or VPN. And I like to use them for swing trading, especially swing trading and leverage, because I can buy and sell without the extraordinary fees. And I can actually make a swing. Like I made a swing on IOTA, small 10 or 15x trade, $500 value. and it ended up making about 60% over the weekend, so I was very happy about that. And just little things like that that I can do without having the extensive fees, especially in spot. I like to trade spot where I can buy and sell without having a huge overhead. And then I can send from other exchanges too. Like I'll buy and sell on BITUNIX, even if I have to send it somewhere else, as long as it allows me to send and receive that particular token so that I don't have to pay the crazy fees. That's why I don't use crypto.com more and I use it for DGB, because the fees are so extraordinary. I'll send stuff there, but it has to be from BITUNIX. Otherwise, it'll just sit on BITUNIX. So with that being said, just pay attention to the morning rhythm. We do have a bullish optimism, but we also have some rising wedges that have formed as well. So we have to make sure these break out. Bitcoin's doing exactly what we needed to do to start pushing up. The technical target on a push up here, assuming that this does not break down again, and right now it looks okay, Bitcoin's technical target would be somewhere, first target 88 and then ultimately 93,000 off of this rotation. If it has to come back to create like an inverse right arm, we could find it back at 78,000. So I'm very eager to see how today plays out, because it looks green right now, but I'm not a fool. I know what usually happens on Monday. So let's see if we can power through this and avoid the Monday drop. Have a blessed day, everybody. Make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to give thanks to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ on this beautiful Monday morning. Be humble, show humility, and don't let your emotions dictate your response. If you made it till the end, hashtag be better, do better in the comments.